Howdy, I'm Ben Solak. This is the Play Sheet. The opening script, 2021 Bengals are back, baby. Against Atlanta, it finally felt like a fog was lifted over the Cincinnati Bengals offense. 345 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, only 2 incompletions for Joe Burrow in the first half. And it looked like it used to look. Just receivers running free downfield, incredible Jamar Chase plays. Everything in Cincinnati feels better. In the beginning of the season, it felt worse, and it was worse for a lot of reasons. Joe Burrow was taking a ton of sacks. Running back Joe Mixon wasn't getting anything more than the line was blocking for him, and the line wasn't even playing that well to begin with. But perhaps the most stark thing about the Bengals offense to start 2022 was how siloed it was. On offense, the Bengals were exclusively doing one of two things. They'd either get under center, condense the formations and run the football, or they'd go into gun, spread the formations out, and throw the football. Those tight run formations under center, those came from head coach Zach Taylor during his time with the Rams and Sean McVay. And those spread out shotgun passing formations came from Joe Burrow, who dominated in those in college at LSU. But that disconnect made the Bengals offense predictable, though the disconnect was fixable. Here's what some idiot wrote for The Ringer a few weeks ago. The idiot is me. That's why it's funny. There are a myriad of solutions to this problem. All of them involve somehow connecting the two silos of the Bengals offense. You can call RPOs from spread formations to run against light boxes. That's what LSU did with Burrow when he dominated college football. Lo and behold, this is what the Bengals are doing on offense. And it's working well. Since week 4, the Bengals are 8th in RPO rate across the league. And accordingly, they are 2nd in the league in run rate into light boxes. What does all this mean? It's time for play action. Here's an early down run. Bengals against the Falcons. Bengals are going to have a split zone look in the running game. So we're going to have zone flow and then the tight end coming across. And they're going to have hitches in the passing game. Where the ball goes is conditional on the look the defense gives you. And pre-snap, this is actually a good run look for split zone. Initially, it may feel like the Falcons have a numbers advantage. There's 7 defenders lurking here in the box to only 6 blockers for the Bengals. But this wide open B gap looks really juicy for split zone. Get a double team from your left tackle and your left guard onto this defensive tackle and up to the linebacker. Tight end comes across, ear holes this unblocked edge, and Joe Mixon should be able to take this right up the inside. The important player for Burrow here is this corner over the slot receiver. If he comes and pokes his head in the run fit, well, then there should be room to throw one of these 2 hitches to the top of the screen. If, however, he stays in coverage over these hitches, then there should be a lot of space for split zone to hit on this backside. We'll run the play, watch that slot defender. Burrow's going to put his eyes on him. He's going to, stay connected. He's on that slot receiver, hand the football off. Joe Mixon presses to the front side, finds some space. Decent yardage on first down. Now, this is an RPO look, week 6 against the Saints. Similar sort of formation. We got a back in the backfield, we're in the gun, we're all spread out. This time, we're not actually checking out this slot defender over the slot receiver, but we're watching Demario Davis. Tyler Boyd's going to run a slant right into that window that Davis is currently occupying. Meanwhile, in the running game, the Bengals run a trap. So this guard's going to pull, he's going to take out that unblocked edge, they're going to double team up to that defensive tackle, climb to the linebacker. Not dissimilar to the split zone look we saw previously, different play call, same basic idea. In the event that Davis steps forward to fit the run, there should be a vacated area to throw this football. That's what happens. Critically, Davis has to be aggressive playing the run here because the Saints are in a light box. With only 6 defenders to the 6 potential Bengals blockers, Davis can't be slow to play the run. If he's too late, it's going to hit big. And the Saints are in this light box because they have 2 deep safeties, which is what you want to do against the Bengals. More on that later. We run the play. Watch Demario Davis. Joe Burrow's going to see him step forward for the run. Ball's already out of the back's belly. We've got the slant Tyler Boyd. Easy throw. First down. Neither one of these RPO plays are huge yardage. It's like a 6-yard run and a 10-yard pass. But in using them, the Bengals now no longer have to play their under center game. They don't have to get under center to run the football. This takes away the predictability of the Bengals offense. Now, instead of being in certain formations to pass and certain formations to run, they're in one formation. Check out how the Bengals shotgun snap rate has been rising over the last few weeks. In one way, they've become more simple because they're only doing one thing, but really they've become more complex, more difficult to defend because out of that one look, they can get into all of their concepts. The predictability's gone. Now, this only works if your shotgun running game is working, and that's the case for the Bengals. The Athletic's Nate Tice wrote this past week about how since week 5, the Bengals' run rate from shotgun has increased, but so has their EPA per rush, their success rate per rush, their first down per rush. They found a shotgun running game. In the spread RPO game, the Bengals now get to do what they've always wanted to do. Spread the field out, throw the football. Number one, the Bengals are currently the widest team in the league. Not like thick, but the most spread out formations at 28.3 yards. And we can see a massive uptick in formation width across the last few weeks. And it's not just formation width that's jumped, it's pass rate over expectation. How often the Bengals pass in neutral down and distances, 1st and 10, things that other teams might run in. In the last 2 weeks, the Bengals are through the moon, they're through the universe. So, updated Bengals formula 2.0 2022 season. Spread, gun, RPOs, chuck the football. It's going to be great. Only there's still a problem. Do you remember last year when the Bills and Chiefs offenses weren't as great as we thought they were going to be, and everybody thought too high defenses had solved them, and the Bills and Chiefs didn't really have an answer? Well, let's look at the tendencies of those offenses. The Bills were 6th in RPO rate, 5th in light box run rate, and 8th in shotgun rate. The Chiefs were 2nd in RPO rate, 2nd in light box run rate, and 5th in shotgun rate. They looked then how the Bengals look now. The Bills and the Chiefs were seeing a ton of too high. That was the entire discourse. And to start the season, that's what the Bengals were seeing. Only recently, it's kind of gone away. Why? Well, as the Bengals were getting under center, condensing formations, they were running more screens, they were running more deep passing game, teams were responding with different coverages. Now that the Bengals look like the Chiefs and the Bills did, now that they're shotgun and spread out and pass the football, they're going to start seeing a lot more cover 2 again. So yes, the Bengals are doing better things on offense. They're starting to solve the problem. Don't get me wrong, good signs. But when the Bills and the Chiefs went down this road last year, they were saved by the fact that they had truly elite quarterbacks, the best of the best. Burrow looks like he could be one of those quarterbacks, but we don't know that for sure yet. Remember, in 2021, he was the league's best passer against single high defenses. We don't really know what he's going to be against 2 deep stuff this season. So as teams start to treat the Bengals like they treated the Bills and the Chiefs in seasons previous, Burrow's going to be put to the test. Can you elevate? Can you save an offense? Can you be as good of a passer against these difficult to pass against looks as guys like Mahomes and Allen were? It's a tough ask, but that's what's being put on Burrow's shoulders here in Cincinnati. And if he's the elite guy they expect him to be, the Bengals offense will be fine. I was initially a Bengals fan. Fun Ben facts. The first 3 letters of Bengals are Ben. So I was like, oh, they're named after me. This is great. And then I was around Philadelphia growing up and I was like, all right, yeah, we'll transition to the Eagles. Even at 5, I knew the Bengals were not the team to hitch my wagon to. Intuition. All right, time for Under Pressure. I don't know how Aaron Rodgers has made it 7 weeks through the season without getting put on Under Pressure, but he's on Under Pressure today for just... is it unscrupulous or scrupulous? What's it when you don't have scruples? Unscrupulous behavior on the Pat McAfee Show.
You know, guys who are making too many mistakes shouldn't be playing. You know, we gotta start cutting some reps. And maybe guys who aren't playing, give them a chance.
Guys who are making too many mistakes shouldn't be playing. Got to start cutting some reps. Firstly and foremostly, to say after the loss to Washington, like, oh, this might be the best thing that happens to us. Like, we all got to work on everything and we got to come together and like, yada, yada, just like basic, usual locker room nonsense talk. To do all of that in the locker room on Sunday, kind of typical post-game nonsense. And then to come on Tuesday on the Pat McAfee Show, to go in that format, whereas nobody else, it's just you representing the entire Packers team, and throw teammates under the bus, sucks. That sucks. It's the worst. Whatever leadership is, it's the opposite of that. It's throwing the blame on other people who aren't even around to like talk about it and be accountable. It's being forward facing about the issues instead of like dealing with it internally. It sucks. That's number 1. Number 2, 3rd and 2, Washington. Close football game, late. I got a little 3-man concept at the top. Romeo Doubs opens up at the sticks. We calling this a drop? We're calling this an inaccurate pass. What are we doing here? Okay, 4th and 1, trailing. Game on the 4th quarter. It's ball game right here. 3-man route concept up top. All right, Rodgers are reading it out. What do we like? What do we not like? Snap the football. Okay, let's read it. No, let's throw it right away. Flat route to the 4th round rookie. Watch the corner, top of the screen. Bang, right on the route. Look at Sammy Watkins. So, pocket's great. Pocket's beautiful. You just sit there for a second, read this puppy out. Sammy, down the field. Instead, we're throwing a contested ball at the sticks. There's the tackle. Pass is broken up. So what are we going to blame the 4th round rookie, or are we going to blame the $50 million quarterback? Who's guys making mistakes? Got to start cutting some reps. There's a 1st round quarterback behind you that would probably read out the concepts, Aaron. This sort of stuff drives me nuts, man. Guys are making mistakes. Got to start cutting some reps. Guys will play whatever. Stop. You're not playing well. He's back-to-back MVP. He's not playing well this season. I do not understand throwing your 4th round rookie receiver under the bus when you're not reading out plays correctly. Despicable. Thanks for joining us here on the Play Sheet. Thank you for running gun RPOs, Zach Taylor. Thank you for drafting Jordan Love and leading to 3 years of total drama, Brian Gutekunst. Thank you for you watching. Subscribe and come back here next week.